Welcome back. It was a case that shook the nation, a case that ensured laws were changed to act as stronger deterrents. Fast-track courts were set up and Nirbhaya funds were allocated. But has that changed anything for Nirbhaya's family? The answer is no. Because 7 years on, their wait for justice continues. 3 dates were fixed for the 4 rapists to hang unto death for the 4 rapists. लेकिन बार-बार वो तारीख बदलती गई, बार-बार delay होता गया. And the question is, isn't this delay mocking justice in this country? Let's open this up and go across to our guests. Tonight we're joined by Saira Shah Halim, theatre personality and activist, Pratibha Prahlad, renowned artist and culture specialist, Cynthia Stephens, human rights activist, C. Rajasekharan, lawyer, and Dr. Ang Ranganathan continues to be with us. Good evening to all of you. Let me first go across to Saira Shah Halim. If this can happen to the rarest of the rare case for which the fast-track court was set up, can we really hope for speedy justice?
They were more like
of the Honorable High Court has changed. We had heard that the hanging will happen on the 3rd of March, and the day, the time, everything is set about 8 hours ago. Then we see this blaring, on our media portals that now the execution has been deferred. So definitely there is absolutely no sense of justice as far as women is concerned. People don't take the issue of women's safety and security seriously. That is why you see this dilly-dallying as far as justice is concerned. No one has bothered to even empathize with Nirbhaya's mother. She's grieving silently since 2012, since this horrific act against her daughter. And I feel now it's time that we need to frame laws that actually expedites the rarest of rare crimes like that. I am not an exponent of the death penalty. However, I feel some deterrent has to be there, some sense of sanity needs to be there. We cannot allow this rule of the mob, rapists to run amok and people taking law in their own hands. There has to be a speedy trial so that this poor girl gets justice.
Absolutely, but that's what we've been talking about for 7 long years, expressing our concerns and sympathies with the family. But Pratibha Prahlad, loopholes in law is equal to advantage convicts.
Swati, I just wanted to say this, that this trial has gone on for so long, that it's testing the patience of the country, okay? And it's playing on everybody's nerves now. I mean, enough is enough. I don't understand. I mean, it's not just so agonizing to go after one hearing, after another hearing, but which is the Supreme Court of India? I mean, this morning the Supreme Court of India rejects the plea of the convicts, and then the High Court states the the hanging. I don't understand that. It's so demoralizing. It is so, I mean, it's a travesty, it's a mockery, it's a joke, it's a charade, it's everything that you can think of, because I don't think that, I really think that justice that is so long drawn, is no justice at all. This has to have a, end. This has to come to an end, because it's really playing on the nerves of our countrymen.
Cynthia Stephens, does the victim and the families have no rights? Because everybody has been talking about the rights of the convicts, and what we witness in this country is how the judicial system was taken for a ride by them, by these last-minute petitions that were filed, and I believe there has been dereliction of duty on part of the administration as well.
Certainly, it's a huge systemic problem in our judicial system. There's no doubt about that, and I think that certainly the delay is not something that has to be condoned. However, what I want to say is that calling them loopholes in the law is perhaps perhaps some terminology has to be changed, because these are provisions in the law to see that because the death penalty is such a final end that every option has to be exhausted.
They did not think twice before.
That it has taken too long,
they did not think twice before twice before committing that horrific act, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
No, we are not
and when I say dereliction on part of the administration, I'd like to highlight that there's a time frame for everything in our law. There's a time frame for the convicts to be informed about the decision taken, about asking them, informing that they have rights to file curative petitions and mercy petitions and so on. None of that happened. And today we are exceeding all those time frames.
Yeah, Swati, if you could just bear with me for 2 minutes. This is a very sober topic, and I would request the courtesy of my fellow panelists to kindly not interrupt me. I'm as pained as you are at what happened, and I understand the emotions are running high, but I'm fundamentally against the awarding of death penalty except in the rarest of rare cases, and only when those cases are acts of terrorism. This is to avoid the possibility of the state being blackmailed by terror organizations into releasing the captured terrorists, as was what happened in Kandahar. In all other cases, I'm vexed to decline the point of view that rarest of rare must also include crimes of psychopaths and the depraved. I say this for 3 reasons. Please bear with me for a minute. Number 1, 32,000 rapes, Swati, are committed in India every year. It is the most heinous of crimes. Why? Because crime is identifiable by the position of the loot. But in rape, what is it that the rapist possesses after it is over? Nothing but his guilt, if at all. And that is why the rapist thinks of the female body in a different way. He chooses to forget that he has assaulted much more than a vagina. He has assaulted the intangible human emotion. Now I ask you, who are we to judge the severity of an assault on this intangible? Is one act of rape any less heinous than the other? Why aren't all 32,000 rapes considered rarest of the rare?
Alive, when they are left on the road in chilling winter to die? I think we are all sensible enough to understand if that's severity or not. We are all sensible to understand we are all sensible to understand what really happened there with Nirbhaya. Even if we are not judging, we all know what happened when her intestines were pulled out of her body. Mr. Rajasekharan.
Yes, Swati, it's very painful to even discuss on a debate like this with panelists around and some saying this has to be done in an early manner, fast-track manner. All this I agree. But fact of the matter is, we have got good laws in place. We have got stringent laws in place. And the due process of law has to be followed, whoever it may be. But definitely, rarest of the rare case, I'm against, I want to reiterate one point. I'm against capital punishment. That doesn't mean we are going to support every heinous crime and justify it by saying, no, you should not hang this fellow or hang this person. But in this case, I go with the family of Nirbhaya. I want this to happen as early as possible.
While all of us are giving these arguments, I think we all need to remind ourselves, why was that fast track court set up? Why did we speak of speedy justice back then? And if this is speedy justice, justice in the rarest of the rare case, what really can we hope for all the other cases that Dr. Anand Ranganathan spoke about, 32,000 rape cases? If this is speedy justice, then really do all those other victims have hope? Can they really hope for justice from the judicial system? I think we all need to question ourselves and for a moment think what the family must be going through. I'm thanking all the panelists. Thank you very much.